Hey all. I wanted to do something different today. I wanted to try and just talk about a book that I read a while back. Uh, Excuse my hair. I don't know if you noticed, but it's wet. Um, this is my copy of the Discourses by Epictetus. Really good book. I wanted to just kind of summarize like its points, where it's from, why you should or shouldn't read it, just the general stuff. So the book was written by Epictetus, and he was a slave in Greece from somewhere between the period of like I think like maybe the first century, maybe the second. I can't remember specifically, but somewhere around that time period, Epictetus was alive, and he was a slave, but because of Greek culture, he was eventually able to get out of slavery by like being a intelligent, showing off that he was intelligent, right? And this was based off of the fact that in Greek culture you have this, or you had this idea that if you have slaves and they end up being like very intelligent, or just in general, it'd be a good idea to educate them, just have somebody to talk to. um a bit gross, but but he ended up getting out of slavery, and he became a lecturer at a school he created, and I believe Turkey. I don't know if it Nicopolis. Yeah, I'm assuming maybe like Greece, Greek colony. I don't know, but nonetheless, he was a profoundly interesting guy, and he's one of my favorite philosophers. Like, um, a lot of his points in his book, I'm gonna have to reference the back. A lot of the points that he makes are like very interesting, and you can tell that he has a real like mastery of his craft, and he has like this idea that we are fated to like live in uh unity with God. There's this one specific line out of the book, I can't remember where it is, but he says that it's in the Enchiridion, which is like this like handbook that he this handbook of like his little like sayings and aphorisms. He ended up saying, a target is not made to be missed. In other words, like, we're kind of fated to live in, kind of a certain way, but we do have like free will to decide, what we do with that fate, right? We can accept it, we can reject it, we can uh, decide for ourselves, how much of my dignity am I willing to, sacrifice for this cause? Um, he makes another point about how, if you're trying to figure out what to do with your life, and, being someone who cleans a bathroom, specifically, like at this point, I know this was the culture in Rome. They had communal toilets, so that would have been like an awful job. But anyways, like, you know, he talks about this like awful position, and he's like trying to just kind of like, and he's not even really giving you like an answer. He's just like trying to go through the points. He's just talking about how like, yeah, I mean, if you don't want to be a bathroom attendant, fine, but I mean, it's a lot better than starving to death, which is exactly what he says. And then he says, but at the same time, you need to kind of factor in like, you do have a certain, like, you have dignity, and you have something about you that, you don't want to just disrespect. You want that to be respected. And this goes into a lot of other like Stoic philosophy. He makes another point about how the whole of human existence. This is a Stoic point. The whole of human existence is really characterized by, um, we have a lot of just very basic instincts. We want to eat, we want to sleep, we want to have sex, we want to do all this sort of stuff, and you know but also at the same time there's something like different about us from other animals, right? like, we have the ability to reason, we have the ability to make sense of our environment in a way that no other animal can. And this is all represented through every single thing that we do. Like, even now, as I'm speaking to you on a phone that was made based off of mathematics, based off of physics, based off of engineering that goes back for like thousands of years. So there's something like that's something that we have that other animals do not. And I'll leave this video off on this point because I found it to be really beautiful when I read it. He made a point about how, you know, you can go on and on and on and on and on about how weak and feeble we all are and how animalistic we are and whatever. But he says, like, I believe it's his second discourse in the book, in book one, or the third discourse, he says, why would you turn to the lesser thing and not to the higher element of it? Really interesting guy. I totally recommend reading the Discourses. If you haven't read it, it's a great book. It's genuinely probably like my top. It's either my second or third favorite book that I've ever read, behind Fahrenheit 451 and maybe Jesus the Great Philosopher. I don't know. But anyways, I hope that's useful to you. All right, bye all.